Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's good to be back. My name is Essay Precious Ogelibo and welcome to Essay's Insight. So today I have a very exciting news and drum rolls. I passed my exams. Yay! So yeah, it's been an interesting journey and I'm excited today to share that I have passed the first stage to becoming a licensed lawyer in Canada. So if this is your first time coming on my channel, on this channel I talk about life, I talk about immigration to Canada, I talk about education, and a little bit of TED Talk every now and then. If you're a foreign trained lawyer looking to immigrate to Canada and you've wondered how to become licensed in Canada, this video is for you. So please stay tuned and remember to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you shortly. So welcome back. So on today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to get your law license in Canada. So if you're a foreign trained lawyer, you have a foreign trained lawyer for a friend that's looking to relocate, the video is for them. So I'm going to be using Alberta because I presently live in Alberta. Now, different provinces have different requirements. However, the beautiful thing about Canada is that Canada allows for mobility. Mobility in the sense that being a federal state, every province is independent of the other province and of the federal. In other words, when you become called to the bar, you become a member of a particular province. So presently, I am working towards becoming a member of the Law Society of Alberta. So I'm going to have to go through the requirements of Alberta. In other words, you can move from one province to the other province and simply convert whatever license. You don't have to go through the same process as against the US, where you have to write the bar exam for the respective province you go to before you can actually be able to practice in that province. But Canada is a bit more fluid than the US. So today I'm going to be talking about the requirements to get called to the Law Society of Alberta. However, I'm going to talk a little bit about other provinces, but I'm going to use Alberta as my case study. First things first, you have to apply to the NCAs, which is the National Committee of Accreditation. And this will cost you about $350. When you apply to the NCA, they would require that you send in some documents. Now, these documents include if you have a pre-law degree and your existing law degree from your home country. You have to send these to the NCAs. What you need to send is the transcript. However, you're not able to send this in person. Only the school can send it. So you have to apply to the school where you graduated from and require that they send your transcripts directly to the NCA. Now, when they receive these transcripts, they also require two other things: a certificate of good standing from the law society where you practiced. So for instance, whatever your home country is, the law society has to send a certificate of good standing directly to the NCAs. And then thirdly, you have to submit a resume. So the need for the resume is for them to be able to see what your work experience is. And now when NCA receives all these documents, they assess your documents and decide the number of examinations you would write. I believe the minimum number is 5 courses, which is the 5 major courses that you have to sit for. People from a common law background, more often than not, receive these 5 courses only. However, certain things might vary. Your work experience might result in you getting more courses or your transcripts. So as depending on whatever NCA sees that makes them decide to give you more, well, that's what it is. So some people get as many as 8 courses to write. However, the minimum number, which is the 5 major courses, is given to people from common law background. People from civil law and the common law background most times gets the 8 courses as well. You have to be mindful of this when applying to the NCA, especially with regards to your resume. Be careful to ensure that all your legal experience from your home country is well reflected on your resume. When NCA receives this, it takes about 6 to 8 weeks, and then they get back to you with the number of courses you need to write. Like I said, it could be 5, it could be 8, so get ready. Now, bear in mind also that it's going to cost you to apply to your schools to get your transcript, and also you could probably put aside, say, $200, and now this is about maybe $550 just to the NCAs. Now, when you get assessed, the next step is to get ready for your exams. So each exam costs $300 plus taxes. So if you have 5 courses to sit for, that amounts to $1,500 plus taxes. And if you have 8 courses, the same thing. That's going to be 8 times 3, which is about $2,400 plus taxes. Having paid for these exams, note that there are different modules or batches. Before now, they offered all the courses in one sitting for, I think, 3 times a year. However, they have reviewed this to, because due to the COVID, the exams are now written online. So they have reviewed this to offer specific courses around the year. So for instance, in January, it could be criminal law. In February, it could be foundations of Canadian law. In March, it could be a different course. But all the information you need is on the NCA website. You can easily access this. Other than the exams, the NCA may also require that you do an IELTS test depending on your background. An IELTS, or that's an English test. Depending on your background also, the NCA may require that you do an English test or a French test. So non-English speaking countries or non-French speaking countries, the NCA might require that you do one of both tests to be sure that you're competent to be able to become a lawyer here in Canada. And then another way, the NCA may request that you go to a Canadian law school. Now, this is where the LLM comes in. All these courses will be taken in classroom in a Canadian law school. You get an LLM having successfully completed these courses. Now, the NCAs may require this from you, or you may opt for this option. However, I must warn you, it's a more expensive option because typically an LLM costs about $35,000 to $65,000, which is really expensive compared to self-study. Now that you got this whole package together, another cost that you might want to put into consideration is the cost of the materials for study. So you're required to buy certain textbooks or notes. And depending on your assimilation, you might also need to get tutors. So you might want to put about $2,000 aside to get a tutor and notes or whatever is required to be able to pass the NCAs. And when you have passed, it's not over yet. So after passing these courses, you get a certificate of qualification from the NCAs. Now you are finally qualified to become an articling student. At this point in Alberta, you have what we call the CPLED, where they do the PREP program. The PREP simply means Practice Readiness Education Program. Now this program runs for, I think, a period of 8 months, which I'm presently doing right now. And you can do this alongside the articling. Now, it's like an internship where you have to work under a lawyer and you basically become a student at law. So the exams qualify you to becoming a student at law, and articling goes for a period between 8 to 12 months. It used to be 12 months strictly, I think, but the COVID made them revise it and allow for people to be done in 8 months. So you run the program hand in hand with the CPLED. However, the CPLED, which is the program I talked about, has been reviewed to allow you run this program without an article secured. Now the next question is, what's this gonna cost me, right? So typically the PREP, which is first of all you have to apply to the Law Society of Alberta. So application for admission costs about 427 Canadian dollars, and then you have to apply to become a student at law. That costs about $210. And before you can even apply to become a student at law, you ought to have secured articles. So in essence, securing articles simply means going out there, putting out your resume and looking for law firms or companies that take in students at law to be able to take you in and basically mentor you or become your principal through the period. It's a requirement here in Alberta. The total cost of that is about $6,100. I know it looks expensive. However, I'm going to quickly share my screen. So now this is the site for the CPLED. You can see here it has the Canadian Centre for Professional Legal Education. Now, what the program that's being run is the PREP. Now you see it says secured article. This is the cost. So the program for people in Alberta, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan, it costs $6,100. And then when you have an article, the Law Society subsidizes it, and then all you have to pay at the end of the day is $3,500. And they give you a payment plan of 4 times. So that way you get to pay $875 per module, because it does have 4 modules. However, if you haven't secured an article, the program cost is still $6,100, and then you have to pay $1,525 for each module plus taxes. But when the Law Society's subsidy kicks in, after paying the first, for instance, if you decide to start the program without having secured articles and down the line you get an article, you will be able to enjoy the subsidy from the Law Society, and then the remaining tuition you have to pay will be $1,975. So you would have paid $1,525, and subsequent 3 payments will become $659. However, this is different in Ontario, I must say. For people in Ontario, you don't have to do the CPLED. Ontario, once you're done with the NCAs, you still have to sit for a second exam that's called the Barristers and Solicitor. I'm not sure how much that's going to cost, but that exam is the second exam. I believe you can start your articling even before sitting for the exam, because you get a certificate of qualification from the NCAs, but you need to be able to have taken the Barrister and Solicitor exams for you to qualify. And then you also have to do articling. Well, because there are 2 ways in Ontario. I believe they have what they call the law practice program and articling. I'm not sure, you can quote me on that. However, that's the difference. The major difference is that in Alberta, Nova Scotia, Saskatchewan, you basically have to do the CPLED. And once you do the CPLED, once you're done, you meet all the requirements and you're done with your articling, voila, you get called to the bar. So if you ever wondered if you can start this process back from your home country, you definitely can. You can decide now to go on the NCA websites, as long as you know that you want to start coming to Canada or you plan to come to Canada sometime. You can apply to the NCAs, and depending on what level you are on the express entry, because the truth is, the first things first is to secure your relocation to Canada. And once you're certain that you're going to relocate to Canada, it's advisable that you just set the ball rolling, because when you come here, a lot of things might dissuade you and you might just spend so much time trying to get there. So you could start it from your home country. Start by going on the NCA website. I'm going to leave a link below, and apply for an assessment. When you get your assessments, you could even start writing the exams from your home country, because thankfully, somehow the silver lining in COVID is that we get to write the exams online. So gone are the days when you have to travel all the way to get to write the exam. You can write it from the comfort of your home, as long as you have good internet. So yeah, thankfully, it is a process. Maybe on my next video, I'm going to talk more about the exams, the challenges I faced, and the victories I experienced, and things that made it easy, networking and all. So If you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and to those that are subscribed already, thank you so much for subscribing. See y'all